Welcome, everybody, to the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream. I'm your host, David Lee.
And I'm Albert Albanese.
And today we're here for the Monday program. Hope you guys are all enjoying yourselves. Hope everybody's doing well.
And I hope we just keep enjoying that lag that we keep getting for some reason every week out of nowhere.
I hope so, too. Check out the new fancy thumbnail body.
Oh, it's so... wait, my name's on it?
Just for you.
Oh, my God. This is the biggest honor I've ever had.
So people can understand when to, tune in for Albert and when not to. And also, I got a new little icon here. Changing things up a little
I see that.
Howdy, Kate Howard. Howdy, Kate Howard. That's interesting.
Yeah.
True Sinister.
True Sinister, what's going on, man? Baker Moody, how are you?
Degenerate. Base Up. New logo for Base Up as well. Look at you changing it up, too. Inigo Montoya. Ben Espinoza. Hey.
Yep, started a couple minutes early. We were here. Why not?
Yeah, and Don Alden. But yes, new logo. Changing it up just a little bit. I almost changed up the thumbnails again, and I looked at it. Didn't like what I came up with. I'm trying to get the new thing going, but yeah.
New is always better, right?
Not necessarily.
Not really, but sometimes.
Okay, so, all right. So, guys, TLC was yesterday. Monday Night Raw is coming on in a couple of minutes. And as always, we will not be watching. So if there's anything to take note of, please let us know and inform us.
Absolutely.
Okay. Jackson Anderson, sorry for...
Jackson Anderson?
I don't remember that.
You have to understand, there's a lot of different people who start a lot of different crap on this channel.
Yeah, you're going to have to narrow that down a little bit.
You got to narrow it down just a little bit.
And with your last name, and if your last name is Anderson, shouldn't you just say Arn?
Or if he could just lay into the asshole part of that and just say he's Ken.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
That's also there. Yeah, what's up, AJ? Okay, so base up. Dave, what do you think about the women's TLC match? I don't think Charlotte deserves that much hate. Look, if Kyrie was injured, which it has been revealed that she was, you got to cut a little slack for the person who is who's been cussed. You should. And of course you don't think she deserves that much hate. Look, I'm the first one to say that I don't think Charlotte is as good as some people make her out to be. But she is good.
And I'll be the first to completely deny that and say it the other way around because I think she's absolutely one of the top two women wrestlers in the world right now.
That is ridiculous.
It's
no way.
Her and Tessa, and I don't see and then there's a gap. I like Becky. I don't think Becky's anywhere near as good in the ring as Charlotte is.
Charlotte is a little too botchy for me. I think Bayley is a better wrestler. I think Shayna Baszler is a better wrestler than Charlotte.
All right, you can if you argue long enough, you'll get me to bend on Shayna Baszler.
You did beat me, Harry Flynn. I'm sorry we had to sit through this. I'm sorry that this is the pay-per-view you got me on. But yeah, I think Charlotte is Charlotte's good. I'm not denying that, but she needs to sometimes I feel like her own ego, and this is just me personally, but if someone is concussed, you gotta cut them slack for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I look. Here's the thing. I don't think that Charlotte deserves a lot of hate because I don't know how well she knew that Kyrie had been hurt. So she was just working the match like she would work a match. By that same point,
Asuka knew. Asuka ran over to Kyrie's side. Asuka knew.
That somebody's got to communicate better.
And yes, Big D. Well, there's a language barrier, but still, Big D. Thumbnail. That's an interesting.
Asuka's got to know enough English to say she's hurt.
I'm just saying.
I mean, it's whatever. Let's see.
Io Shirai, very good answer.
I would say miles ahead.
Ben Espinosa, Tessa is the answer. No one was denying that.
Yes.
I'm agreeing with. Yeah, Ben says that he goes.
And I said the same thing.
Tessa Blanchard. Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah.
I was saying nobody argued that. We're all on the same page that it's Tessa.
Somebody said. Baker Moody. The match tonight I think is unanimous between me and Dave.
What's that?
The match of the night last night. It was
Buddy Murphy and Alistair Black.
Yeah, absolutely.
The pay-per-view overall.
Base up. I don't think Baszler ruined the NXT Women's Division at all. I think that she doesn't have any competition.
I sadly think, if anything, having her lose to Kairi Sane was actually a mistake.
I agree, and I was there. We were both there at that pay-per-view, and I said it that night. I said, this is a mistake. I think she should just dominate.
Yeah, I was dumbfounded. I did not see, in the Mae Young Classic, when they sold the idea that it was Kairi not manipulated, but took advantage of the ribs, and Shayna was having breathing problems. I thought that was okay.
Yeah,
you convinced me that this 95-pound girl somehow beat Shayna Baszler. It's because Baszler got her insides turned to mush.
Right.
But There was no excuse for that in NXT. I thought it was simply going to be Shayna reclaiming her victory, just saying, no, that was a fluke, and I don't know what they were thinking.
Oh, so he started Jackson Anderson started the great Hogan Austin debate when me, you, and Steve and James were all on this show. So, boy, it's okay. Believe me, it's happened.
That has happened without you.
Yeah,
yeah.
So John Mel, that's the biggest news that's come out, I think, of wrestling right now is the fact that finally, after all these years, Ring of Honor's contract with Marty Scurll comes up. And we're like, well, here we go. This is great. He's going to be...
The same thing last year.
Yeah, this is great. He's going to join AEW. This is going to be... And he's in NWA.
Now, it is going to be an interesting fit seeing him in NWA. I want to know, what did Cody and the Bucks and Omega do to Marty Scurll?
Yo, seriously?
Like, did they steal his girlfriend or something? Did they run over his puppy? Like, what?
NXT stole his girlfriend, if you want to get technical.
My point is, why doesn't he go to AEW? Seriously, what is going on? Because there's no, even if AEW is not, allegedly AEW is no longer offering the same big money contracts now.
Well, of course they aren't, because they're not selling half the tickets that they wanted to.
But you can't possibly tell me that whatever a contract is now isn't more than NWA. If they're less than NWA now, that is news to me. So I don't think it's money. I still think he could be a very cool fit, and I will admit that this is beginning to get me to be interested in NWA again now that Jim Cornette's gone, because that was a huge blow to me. Without Cornette, my interest in NWA really took a hit, but then it's like, all right, Wade Barrett, Marty Scurll, maybe I'll go
Wade
back.
Barrett kind of made me think. So now, I was initially, when they first announced that Wade Barrett was coming in, I was like, oh, is he actually going to wrestle again? This is amazing. And then I was like, he's going to be a commentator. All right.
Don't get me wrong, I would love it if he came back to the ring. AJ Envoy, I understand that Marty Scurll's not your cup of tea. He is absolutely mine. I think he is fantastic.
I don't love Marty Scurll. I think he's good. I think he's good. I like him a lot.
I think his storytelling, I think his technical ability and his storytelling in ring work is actually great. I think, especially for an indie, quote unquote indie guy, his storytelling is above and beyond what the normal indie guy is.
I completely agree. He's light years ahead of that. A guy that I noticed that was that way too was always Adam Cole.
Which is why I don't mind him being in NWA or why I'm interested in it, because his storytelling, his character work is actually very solid.
My thing is that, and this kind of goes back to, harkens back to a little bit of what you said before, the whole idea of Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Marty Scurll's very small.
Yes.
And he's going to, the guys in NWA are a lot bigger than him. That stare down with him and Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis isn't the biggest guy in wrestling, and man, did Marty Scurll look small. And it's always been a thing where everybody's like, well, when's Marty Scurll going to enter the heavyweight division in New Japan? This is why he didn't, because he is really small.
Right.
And look, it works. Daniel Bryan works. We're not saying it doesn't work for anybody, and this isn't a slight on Marty Scurll. I think that he would have been a better fit for AEW, where you see somebody like Rio beating, giant women all the time,
or putting him against Hangman Page,
right? People that even Cody
Pac.
Cody too. I mean, he's tall, but he's lean. Yeah, Omega, those are guys that are more his size. It's not the same thing in NWA. NWA is more old school wrestling. It's more the big, bigger guys, bigger bodies, bigger mindset.
Oh, now that Arthur Pryor's here, when Marty Scurll really got my attention, or should prove it to me, it was during the G1 Super Show where he wrestled, and that was also the same night where Okada won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship outside of Japan. Yeah, the first time outside of Japan that happened. Okay, anyway, yeah. I'm sorry. Anyway, where are we? Got her record time. Anyway, what we're talking about, I just wanted to get, Harry Flynn would like to know who is the queen of injuries, Alexa Bliss or Nikki Bella.
Oh, God, that's so hard.
I'm surprised he's putting that up there. It's it's slightly negative against Nikki. I can't believe he's putting
it might be Nikki Bella, because her career ended due to an injury.
That's a good point. Harry Flynn, it's weird because I was kind of looking up something similar the other day, just recently over the weekend. I was looking up, I don't know how accurate this is, but I was looking up the most injury-prone wrestlers of all time, and I have a list on, I believe it was Bleacher Report, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I don't know how accurate it is. I was just what I was reading. And apparently, who do you think number one is? Of all time, most injury-prone wrestler ever. I think I was reading this list on Bleacher Report. I could be wrong, and I don't know if the list is accurate. This is just one list on the internet I read.
That's fine. Let's see. The most injury-prone wrestler of all time. Sin Cara.
According to the list, the answer was Triple H. It's like days and time and everything compiled together. Like I said, I don't know if it's true.
That might be.
I don't know if it's true. It's
two quad tears. Hold on.
Yeah.
How is it not Kevin Nash then? He had the same amount of quad tears and.
I don't know.
Well, I guess you know what? You know what? He wasn't.
And
Nash wasn't really injured
I
a
didn't
lot in
read
his
the list
WCW
too
run.
thoroughly. I just wanted to see the numbers.
Who number one was? That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Dave. Why is Seth Rollins supposedly a heel getting fireworks?
Oh, there we go. However, I've been reading NWA is allowing guys to wrestle for bigger promotions, so that might be Marty Scurll's thing. AEW's keeping him to an exclusive contract. NWA's not. Where do you? So I mean, we've seen a couple of guys left ROH this past week. We saw where Marty Scurll went. Where do you think Colt Cabana goes?
Well, he's already at NWA. I don't see him leaving. I think he's going to stay in NWA.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He left NWA. That's what it was.
Oh.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
I believe that's why. What's his name won the Aaron Stevens won the title.
Oh.
Because I believe that's Colt Cabana wrapped up in NWA.
Oh. Nope. Didn't know that. I just thought that was because he's Damien Sandow and he's awesome.
Or maybe I read it wrong, and maybe he did leave. Maybe he did have a contract with Ring of Honor too, but I don't know how he was working for both promotions.
Well, Capital's champion Homicide works for both. So it works at NWA too. So like, NWA is not exclusive. Like they don't.
Oh, maybe yeah, that could be.
I think some guys are, but I don't know.
Harry Flynn, that's really good, man. That's really good. I like that.
Wow. Yes, Harry Flynn, that would be something. That is a good one.
The battle of wits and lawsuits. Yano and Cabana in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yes, please. Just at least once. I'd love to see it.
No, but Ben Espinosa, it's not just quad injuries, it's every kind of injury. And again, I don't know if it's accurate, and I don't 100% remember where I got it from. It just was something I happened to be... I stumbled upon the headline, and I'm like, screw it, I'll click on it.
Adrian Envoy, I think you're right. I think The Miz is the guy. Oh, wow. Adrian Envoy brought up Rey Mysterio. He's got to be one, too.
No Arthur Pryor. That's not how that works.
And he said The Miz might be the least injured wrestler of all time. And I think that's pretty accurate. I really don't think The Miz has had a major injury.
No.
Which is amazing. Luke Harper and New Japan Pro Wrestling with a look, if they book Harper as as devastating as Brody, sure. But Harper's got to be booked that way.
Hey, Mr. J. Jr., and I hope I'm Jerry the King on that.
By God! By God!
I mean, I was a huge fan of the Cat back in the day.
Who wasn't?
True.
Christian and Paige are the kings and queens of injuries. I mean, Christian was hurt sometimes. I wouldn't say he was injured all the time. And Paige got a bad neck injury, came back too fast, and then had to retire. I don't know if we can really...
Like I said, I'm using this more as food for thought. I don't really know the logistics of it. And I bet you there are ways to calculate it and do the research. I know I'm not doing it. At least this venture, I don't feel like it.
Fair enough.
Are you guys excited about Wrestle Kingdom? I'm more curious than excited.
I want to know how this is going to work. I want to see how this affects certain other companies going forward.
As much as I understood why they booked the G1 the way they did.
Mr. J. Jr., thank you so much for checking out my videos. I really, really appreciate that.
As much as I understood why and how they booked the G1, it's going to lead, for me, it still leads to an anticlimactic Wrestle Kingdom main event.
Well, you have to be specific because Wrestle Kingdom has 2 nights and 2 main events.
The G1 winner main event.
I know.
The real main event.
I know what you're talking about. My thing is...
Like, whoever wins the Rumble, whatever belt they go for is the main event. Even if it's not the main event,
it's the main event.
It's kind of the main event.
So, I like the idea. The concept of having the back-to-back days, 1 pay-per-view. The idea of, hey,
I don't mind that either.
Let's give everybody everything that they want all in one shot. And that's a cool concept. The execution of it just seems weak. I don't like the the winner of this match will face the loser of this match on the second night. And because for me,
are a little convoluted.
Yeah, and for me, like if I'm going to night one because if I want to see like you said, I want to see the winner of G1 face Okada for the title.
Do you?
Not really.
I was like, do you want to? Like,
Not really.
Theoretically, you want to.
Yeah, in theory, I would have wanted to,
but because.
Yes, so Tanahashi versus Nakamura for the IC title wasn't the main event. I think that way. World title's always the main event.
That year, except that year. Except that year, because
you can't make excuses.
Naito's not as good as people think.
You can't make excuses.
Naito wasn't ready that year.
He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready. You think that who won the G1 this year, Dave?
Oh, I agree. I think that's why I don't care about it.
This is the big thing.
I get it. Like
a lot of people get mad about the fact of how WWE books, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they push this guy down our throats. New Japan has a really rich history of doing the exact same thing.
Not even close. Okada is a significant better wrestler.
Not Okada,
but
Okada kind of earned his way in.
But you want to
Jay White.
Jay White is Jay White.
Naito.
But
Nakamura's first world title.
Hold on.
World title shot. When
nobody
was behind Nakamura.
No. Which first?
His initial, the very first.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, the difference is Jay White has not been headlining Wrestle Kingdom after Wrestle Kingdom after Wrestle Kingdom. Okay.
He's about to get there.
Ein.
And you're
There's
telling
a difference between that and you're telling me that's all of his.
And you're telling me that couldn't be something that's going to build, and he's not going to do that in the future.
I bet you he will, but maybe he is or maybe he isn't. The problem I see with Jay White is Jay White to me is New Japan Jinder Mahal, except done on purpose. They knew everything. Like I don't.
I know you said
I don't like him. I know
you don't.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Glug, glug, glug. It worked, New Japan. Okay, you got me. But they've done everything in their power to make you not like them, and they do it intentionally to use them as a pawn for their ends. And they're achieving it. It's absolutely working, and he gets legit heat. I don't think he has go-away heat. If you want to say he does, fine.
I'm on the fence.
But that's brilliant. You see how hard that is to pull off?
I agree.
And I noticed his wrestling has slowed down. He was better than this. But since he got this push and people started hating him, he just started, screw it, I'll phone it in and make it more, less good.
Yeah, no, well, he doesn't
want... everything is deliberate.
He's being a heel.
And it's working too well. Exactly. Roberto Soto's right. He's a plot device. He absolutely is. And the sick part to me is I know that, but it still doesn't change how I feel.
New Japan didn't book that match right. Everyone wanted Okada versus Tanahashi, and wanted Naito to be the next big face. I don't think everybody wanted that. I don't think so either.
Because he wouldn't have gone down to Mexico to start tripping on shrooms or whatever he did to come back crazy. The reason why they did that is because they originally thought that Naito was going to be a clean-cut, white meat babyface, like he was going to be the new Okada. And it didn't work, and nobody bought it. So then he went to Mexico, came back as a crazy person, and then people started to like him because they changed his gimmick. And this is what New Japan does. They will push their agenda. I agree. But when they see something fail, they will give up on it, or they'll change their plans. Like Jay White was a change of plan because Omega left. That was supposed to be Omega and Okada.
Of course.
We all know that. That was supposed to be the match for IWGP G1 Supercard, where Okada won the IWGP Championship for the first time outside of Japan. Anyway, that was supposed to be Okada and Omega.
Arthur, I do agree with you, but the Dave the Dave you're talking about is not this Dave. It's mostly the other Dave, and his last name is Meltzer. But that's my thing is this.
No. Okay, like I said, I don't like Jay White. If they start giving him repeated Wrestle Kingdom main events, yes, I will have a problem. But as of right now, it is not this. All I said was it's not the same as Roman Reigns. Roman has way more, and
it's only because Jay White's very early in his run.
When that comes, then I'm on you. I'm with you. But until that day,
they've done this with a lot of people.
Naito, but like I said,
Naito's
Naito
one
did
of them.
change the gimmick, though. They came back as a heel.
Sure, no, and I get.
And if they did that with Roman, and I've been saying it, like, try something different. This doesn't work. Do something different. Don't just keep doing it. And crazy people expect you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. That's what Roman was. That's what Jinder Mahal was. It's like they didn't do anything different with him. They just gave you the same thing again. Jinder had the same match. Like, he had like 3 feuds over his like 10-month reign or whatever, however long it was.
Yeah, I know.
So that's my issue with it. That New Japan has the common sense to change things up.
Ben Espinosa, you're a crazy man. You just said that Jay White's better than Okada.
That's
absolutely crazy.
No.
Look, here's the thing. I actually don't. I know this is gonna sound weird. I don't dislike Jay White. I actually think he's talented. I don't hate him. I hate the fact that he got just thrust into the spotlight.
Yeah, EJK, I hear you.
The other thing is that just think about it this way too. Kenny Omega kind of was kind of forced down everybody's throat too, to a point. Omega was just another guy. Then all of a sudden, some major guys won. They're like, all right, who's the next guy who looks American enough to take the spot of AJ Styles? And then there was Omega.
I don't agree because Kenny Omega already had a following. Kenny Omega.
Sure, he had a following.
Kenny Omega.
Jay White had not as big of one.
Yeah, Kenny Omega had a much bigger following, and the fact that Cornette hated him got his name out there significantly.
I know.
Because then everybody and their mother said, let's see the idiot who wrestled a love doll. You know what? He's not that bad. Or
a 9-year-old girl.
He's not that bad. That was what his fans saw. Like, he had that following. So I don't agree that's what happened with Kenny. Kenny was right. Kenny came along at the right time. He had, like, if you want to say this about, like, Adam Cole, and I like Adam Cole, but his time period of his, like, before he came to NXT, I thought his push came really quick.
Yeah, I agree. He was another one I was going to bring up.
Not saying it's bad. Not saying he's bad. Again, I like Adam Cole. I just thought it was pretty quick.
And that's my thing.
But WWE has done it too well. Undertaker debuts Survivor Series 1990, world title shot against Hulk Hogan, and wins. I know, 1991. But I'm just saying.
I know. I still love that.
I'm just saying.
Which led to the best pay-per-view ever this Tuesday in Texas.
Anyway,
I'm sorry, I had to.
But that's
it's
a guy
too
who,
funny.
and he wasn't even in the business. Mark Callow, he wasn't even in the business that long at that point.
No, and I agree with that. I agree with that.
But it was right. It was right.
But then if you're going to say that, all right. So I'm saying that Jay White
works.
I'm saying that Jay White got pushed fast.
Yes.
You bring up the idea of it being Roman. Roman was still around for 4 years before he got that push.
The biggest thing is, you are supposed to hate Jay White, and it's succeeding. Because other than Ben Espinosa, apparently most people hate Jay White.
No, there's a lot of people who are Jay White fans. I've heard a lot of people say that they like him.
But
I also think that's a very big internet buzz kind of a thing. Like, oh, we're supposed to like Jay White because he's been positioned in this spot.
I'm just saying, if they did everything with Roman, because again, I point out that everything they did to Roman screamed making him hated. They did everything in their power to make fans not like him. They did it on purpose. They did
one specific thing.
They did multiple things. Inigo Montoya, thank you so much for the super chat. New Japan is pushing Jay White to the moon because they want the Bullet Club to stay relevant in the West. The problem is that no one in the West cares. I think that's a fair statement.
And look, here's the thing. New Japan's talking about launching like a Western expansion, and I think it's the stupidest idea that they can, right now. They already have one.
Timing. It's bad
They
timing.
already have one. It's called AEW. They just don't want to do business with them.
Well, can you blame them? I get it. I get it.
Yes and no.
For business sake, yes, deal with them.
Right.
But because they screwed you, I get it.
But by that same point, they didn't. Their contracts were all up. They just chose not to re-sign.
I'm just saying.
They chose not to re-sign. That's not on them. And I'm sure that if they all probably went to New Japan,
it was also New Japan's management. They didn't like the new management that took over.
Yeah, well, that's a big problem with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And look at the guys that they've pushed
since
the new management.
But also look at the new management. Are they wrong? Are they wrong? That's my point. They're right. So far, the management is making terrible choices.
Yeah. Look,
Jay White's one of them.
I'm not saying this is to disparage him because I don't hate him. But Juice Robinson is getting this monster push for what reason?
I'm not a Juice Robinson fan.
Just why? I don't think he's that good.
I'm not a CJ Parker.
But I think he's from the United States. I think that's like something that they feel like appeals to the Japanese audience.
And again,
so let's push him.
With Jinder Mahal, we saw that doesn't work.
Right. And then look at a guy like Lance Archer, who's busted his ass for years and finally got to the spot where he's at, and I feel like nobody cares about it.
I think the problem is they look at the Bullet Club and they see the success of it and they think it might be pigment-oriented why they like the Bullet Club, and they don't realize that the Bullet Club is over.
Maybe.
But they don't realize that the Bullet Club is over because they're the NWO.
Right.
Like, it's not their race that people are attracted to. People
It's
like them.
who they copied.
Yeah, they're badass. They're cool. Like, that's the thing people are missing. But
And that's the reason, like, I didn't want to watch the
think-
Firing Squad, but I love Tama Tonga so much.
I don't and I've waned on the Bullet Club a lot. I didn't like it when they started cheating a lot, when they took away wrestling, when they stopped wrestling and they started just doing Healy stuff, because that's not what I'm looking at New Japan for. It's
Right.
like, yeah, it's fun when the NWO, slams Rey Mysterio into the side of a trailer, but I don't need that from the Bullet Club.
Right, and I agree.
Because I'm watching New Japan because I want to see New Japan wrestling.
Oh, Roberto Soto, I could not agree with you more.
Yeah, of course I'm not. Nobody's arguing this.
But he's right. Who's getting the pushes, though? Jay White and Juice Robinson are.
But I'll put it this way. With the amount of heat Roman Reigns had, and I think it's gone by now.
Yeah, it is. I think so. For the most part.
If they gave the belt, if they just turned him heel and give him the title runs that they gave Brock, treat him exactly like Brock, but just all they had to do is make him heel. That would be I would say that's the exact same thing as Jay White. And it's like, I know they know what they're doing. I don't think they're accidentally doing it this way.
No, I don't think so either.
And it's the same thing with Cena. If they had just said, screw it, make this guy heel, it would be like Triple H's Reign of Terror. It would be the same exact thing, and they would accomplish it. And they're kind of doing that with Seth now. It's like, fans turned on him, so just turn him. Like, it's just the easiest maneuver. Best case scenario, you got an effective heel that stays heat, and you're doing it on purpose. Worst case scenario, if they start flipping and cheering him, then you get a Becky Lynch scenario where people start cheering Becky. There you go. Like, you don't lose on this. It's a win-win. All you got to do is just play it that way.
Based up, I think that's what they're heading towards. I'm not gonna lie. I think that if anybody's gonna be the guy to beat Bray, it's gonna be Roman.
I think that's what they're going towards too. They shouldn't.
Honestly,
it's going to undo a lot of the equity that he's building up right now.
What can you complain about though? At that point, he hasn't been in a world title picture in well over a year. The guy's actually longer than that because of the time he's been out.
You can't count that though. But
all right, then fine. But he hasn't been in a title picture since he's been back.
I said this.
If he waits until WrestleMania, this coming WrestleMania, it's time.
No, it's not. I was talking about this with my. Here's the question: in-ring ability, is he any better now than he was 5 months ago?
No, I would say he's about status quo.
It's about the same. That's my problem. That's why. Okay, here's my issue. I was talking about this with my friend yesterday. To me, look, as much as a lot of people don't want to hear it, I would say The Miz is probably the best thing I could put out there. Because let's look at is the best trajectory for a lot of wrestlers, I think. Because let's look at it this way. WrestleMania 26, him and Cena, right? 26 or 27? I always get
26,
right?
26.
Whatever it was.
I think you're right. I think it was 26.
Him and Cena, whatever it was, he retains the title against John Cena at Mania, and somehow the fans still hated him.
Yeah.
It's like, at a general principle, he beat Cena. You hate Cena. Don't you like him now? And it's like, that didn't work. He retained at WrestleMania something that, like, you used to have to be Hogan level to do. He, against the company's top guy. Fans hated him. They turned him babyface, let Ric Flair, treat him as the next Ric Flair. Fans hated it. Just couldn't stand him no matter what. They cooled off on him a lot. Like, a lot. Sure, he still won Intercontinental titles, but they cooled off.
He wasn't a main eventer.
But they cooled off on him a lot. I mean, maybe you want to say they gave him more Intercontinental titles than he needed, which also elongated it, but you cooled down a lot.
Right.
He's gotten better in the ring. He's gotten better as a performer. He's taking more risk. He's learning more. Like, I'm not trying to say he's great. He's like the top tier pantheon, but he's so much more improved since that guy with the faux hawk who beat Cena. And
sure, which is ironic that he was the world champion then and not now. But
that's my point. He's gone to the point where I think he's earned enough that you can put him now back in the main event.
Sure.
Even if he doesn't win it, but he's earned it.
Yeah.
He's earned that equity with the fans. Baron Corbin, is he improving lately? Yes.
Yeah,
The first one to admit, his cardio's getting better, his in-ring work is getting better, and he's doing more intentional heat things than accidental go-away heat things.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's ready. Because as much as he's improving,
I don't think so.
Does he
I don't
deserve?
think that either.
Should he be a former King of the Ring or current King of the Ring, a former Money in the Bank United States champion? He has more accolades than his skill level involves. You cool guys down like this until they eventually earn their equity back with their fans. Roman Reigns, the same thing. Do people hate him like they used to? No. Has he improved in the ring? Has he improved to the mic to be worthy of a 3-time world champion. Or
I think
main
he's.
event
I
champion.
think he's definitely better on the mic.
Three-time world champion. Is he that good on the mic yet? Absolutely not.
I can probably name
'Cause I
you a
remind
bunch of
you-
guys who were 3-time world
Not the
champions that
point.
were wet,
Not
that
the
were
point.
way worse on the mic
Not
than
the
Roman.
point. Does he deserve to be a 3-time world champion?
I think he does.
Is The Miz better at mic skills than he is? And The Miz, they won't even let have the title again. That's my point. Is he better than The Miz? No. Right there.
The problem with The Miz is that The Miz made himself too marketable to Vince McMahon to be just the Vince McMahon
Either
guy.
way, I'm just
That's
saying.
a problem.
Roman has significant problems. His in-ring ability's not there, and his microphone ability's not there.
And in all honesty, I think Roman's cardio's better since he's gotten back.
It is.
And I think that he tells a little bit of a better story. I think that his opponents haven't been the best choices for
That's
him
not
either.
no, that's too bad. You, as a veteran, have to pick up that slack.
That's fine, but I don't.
As a 3-time champion, that's a quality a champion is supposed to have.
Right, I
Macho
think
Man, Randy Savage.
Yes,
I'm
think
going
he's
there.
Doing,
right there.
I think he's doing better.
That's not my point. Is he 3-time world champion level?
I think he is.
I
think
would not
he is.
disagree more. Okay, is he one more than that? Because if he's earned 3, well, you got to be the next level before we give you another one. That's what I'm trying to get across.
And I think he has been.
I do not think so whatsoever.
And look,
3-time champion.
Here's
No,
the other
no,
thing.
no.
I know somebody brought up before. They were like, "Oh,
Okay, Harry Flynn. I'm sorry, I miscalculated. So, all right, is he good
you
enough? Is he good enough to be a 5-time champion?
I think he does."
Yeah, Mark Stray says he's a C+ player at this point. Yeah, I wouldn't give him the plus. I would give him the C.
And AJ Envoy, I completely agree. And look, and that's a no-brainer here. And I think that's where a lot of the heat came. You know my whole thing. I'm not going to get into the whole Roman thing, but I think that's where a lot of it is. Look, let's face it. We've cooled off on Becky Lynch.
It also, yeah.
Everybody at the beginning in January, Dave. Let's go a calendar year back.
Right, yeah.
All anybody wanted. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. That's all we want. They gave you exactly that, and what happened?
And
they
as I
turned their
said-
backs on Seth Rollins and Becky
They
Lynch.
didn't turn their backs on Becky. Seth, yes, but they didn't turn their backs.
She's been getting booed.
She's cooled off, but
And she's been getting booed in places
this is
too.
my number one place, and I said it I have a video about it. Storylines for championship reigns. They don't do it anymore, and this is why people don't care anymore. They keep telling you the story. The stories are all pegged around the challenger and never the champion. So when people root for the champion to be thrown, it's because that's a story you keep telling us. WWE has straight up forgot to tell us what a championship run was.
I actually disagree.
That is crazy talk.
I disagree because look at who they booked Seth against. Who was his first challenger? A dream match, AJ Styles.
No. What? No. What's the story? That's very different. And I agree 100%.
Every once in a while, you're allowed to do the who's better than the other story. I'm okay with that when it's Seth and AJ.
That is not a story.
It's not.
And I love that match, but it's not a story.
But it's okay with two guys that are of an equal talent level.
No.
Then the next person who was
not what I'm saying.
it was Brock freaking Lesnar.
No story.
And now the story is, can he overcome the guy that he beat?
No. Well,
again, because we know he lucked out, he hit him with a low blow.
Time out.
And that's how it was built.
No. The first storyline after AJ Styles was Baron Corbin. You're missing that one out. And there was no story, and the storyline went to Baron Corbin, because Baron got screwed at stomping boot or whatever that pay-per-view was.
No.
Or Saudi Arabia, the first Saudi Arabia.
Right, in Saudi Arabia, Seth faced Brock.
I don't think
that was the Money in the Bank cash-in.
No, I don't think it was.
Maybe it wasn't the Money in the Bank cash-in, but that was the.
He had that program with Baron Corbin for 2 pay-per-views.
Yes,
which was before Brock.
No, I think Crown Jewel was the first one.
No,
and that was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
With what?
With the Heyman interference.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe I'm wrong. You might be right, but either way, fine. The Corbin thing.
What facts are there? Okay, let's look this up right now.
What did he say? I don't even know what he said.
Since you don't like coming at me with facts, I'm like, what facts? He hasn't said one yet.
Like I said, you might be right. It might have been after that, but I'm pretty sure it was before.
I'm not, because after he lost it to Brock, he got it back. He didn't have a program with Baron Corbin. Then he had it during his first reign.
He didn't lose it to Brock.
When Brock cashed it in, yeah, he did. Brock had Money in the Bank. He cashed it in on Seth and won.
No, he cashed it in on Kofi.
No, he did not. That was just a match on Kofi because Brock Lesnar.
Thought it was the other way
Oh,
around.
I'm sorry. Wrong Crown Jewel.
Yeah, you're at the wrong one.
What the hell was it called? What was the other one? What was the previous Super Show? Was it Super Show?
I don't.
This is probably is not
Super Showdown.
It's
That
not
might have been
helping
it.
because we got the pay-per-view name wrong. Defeated Baron Corbin. See?
So then what was
Brock?
the one before it?
Not Brock, because this was in.
It had to have been the one before it then.
No, it was. This is June. They had wrestled at WrestleMania. Pay-per-view beforehand. Okay, let's go. Not Crown Jewel, but the
Yeah, Crown Jewel, 2018.
2018 before he won it at WrestleMania against Brock.
No, then what the hell was the Saudi show that he defended the title
It
against?
wasn't a Saudi show, is what I'm trying to tell you.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
Heyman interfered. It went to a no contest.
Look. Saudi show, he went against Baron Corbin, as I said. Stomping Grounds, the next pay-per-view, they rematch again, just as I said. Seth Rollins, Baron Corbin, just like I said.
Am I going? When did?
Yes, you were going crazy. Hold on, I'm
looking this up.
getting there. Evolve? What the hell? Why is that there?
Because it was technically the next pay-per-view.
No, it is not the next WWE pay-per-view.
Theoretically.
Extreme Rules, Baron Corbin and Seth Rollins again.
Right.
And then Brock cashed in
Right.
at Extreme Rules.
Okay, fine. I'll give you. You're right. All right, fine. So Baron Corbin did come first.
And anyway,
did,
no,
but they
no,
did.
no, no,
they,
no, no, no,
all right,
no,
then
no,
fine.
no.
Go
My
ahead.
story.
Go ahead.
So now that I've come at someone with facts, Arthur, dummy, because Arthur's a dumb.
I'm not thinking of 2015 EJK. I think that's a little bit further down the line.
I'm not defending Corbin, Baker Moody. I hate Baron Corbin's guts. But what I'm trying to say is champions don't have storylines for them. Their championship reigns no longer have storylines. As I did the entire video on, and the champions aren't given the storylines, the challenger gets the storyline. Baron Corbin, I don't like Baron Corbin. I can't make this any clearer. Baron Corbin had the storyline. He got screwed at Crown Jewel and then demanded his rematch because he got screwed. He was right. He did get screwed. He was supposed to he did get screwed out of it. The onus was not on Seth. The storyline there, I'm glad he didn't win, but Baron Corbin was owed because he got screwed.
Okay, that's fine.
But they do that to everybody. The challenger is the person they always give the storyline to, give the justification to, give the problem to that needs to be overcome. They don't give it to champions anymore. And my classic example is Austin McMahon. Austin's first world title run. We know what that storyline was about. Austin has it, and he's trying to keep onto his belt while Vince is trying to take it away from him. The storyline was about Austin. It wasn't about Mick Foley any of those times. It wasn't, well, Mick deserves to win this one against Austin. No. It was always about the champion. And I'm not saying you can't have storylines both because that would have them converge, and that would be, amazing wrestling storytelling. But, I'm not that optimistic. But the champions don't have storylines on why this title reign matters. They don't do it anymore. They don't.
All right, so all right, so that I see where you're coming from.
Right.
I'll give you Seth, Kofi. Kofi's whole title run was about him, overcoming the odds, him being a champion, him being an underdog. He always had to overcome. He always had to overcome something.
Nope.
Whether it was to get the championship, then he got the championship, then it was overcoming.
First one was what? First one was Kevin Owens' storyline because he turned on the New Day. It was his storyline. It was a Kevin Owens-centric storyline. The story arc was on Kevin Owens. It wasn't on Kofi. The one that was about Kofi was Randy Orton. No doubt about that one.
Yeah.
But that was at the end of the ring.
And I'm sure that whoever he was wrestling before that, it was mostly just everybody. The whole story of Kofi's title reign, with the exception of Kevin Owens, I'll give you the Kevin Owens part.
That was the first one.
Fine, but everything after that was all about Kofi. You don't deserve this. You're not a world champion. I'm going to take the belt from you. It was always about Kofi not being ready to be champion. His whole, with the exception of Kevin Owens, I'll give you that. His whole title run was booked around him.
That I don't count. Against who? Like, what is the plot here, is what I'm trying to say.
I don't even remember. This
What
is
is
how
the-
bad my memory is. I don't even remember who he wrestled.
What is the plot?
But-
what is the plot? What is the arc? What do we learn differently than other times?
That Kofi Kingston was
what is the
a
character
main
arc?
eventer who
No.
can
We know
defeat-
that already. When he won WrestleMania, we already know that. What is the
No, you
character?
don't.
He can
Jack
wrestle as the
Jack
main
Swagger-
eventer.
Jack
He
Swagger's
got
the main eventer?
at the time.
But that's my point.
My point is, what is the character
Dolph.
arc? What is the growth? Yeah, there we go. That's right. And it was Dolph's storyline about how I deserve it, not you.
No,
It was Dolph's storyline.
That's Kofi. He said Kofi stole my spot. This was supposed to be
my
me.
spot. It's
Right.
supposed to be me. Same thing with Baron Corbin. I'm due. The thing is, the champion's only response is, well, I kind of disagree. Like, that's the only thing they do. And it's like, oh, come on, that's mean. Like, I'm talking about what is the plot. We know that the protagonist of the story for Austin McMahon is NWO and Sting. We know it's Sting. This whole storyline.
It was Hogan the entire time. I don't know what you're
But
talking
we
about.
know it's about Sting coming to end the reign of terror of the NWO, invading his beloved WCW. We know that's the plot. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't get that anymore. That's why those angles were so good.
But wait,
and
he was the
reason
challenge.
why-
But he was the challenger.
Right. I'm just saying.
So the storyline was based around Sting.
Yeah, I know. I'm not arguing that. No, I'm not saying.
So
I'm not saying,
then
not
I'm
saying-
really confused with what
I'm
the
not saying
argument
that's
is
an
there.
argument for a champion storyline. I'm just giving you an example of who the storyline is about. And
Right. That one was about the challenger.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Here's the thing. I think it's harder now to book. To just book stuff for the champions now.
No, it's not. It's not any harder than it is. They just choose not to do it now.
Okay.
They go on autopilot. They say, well,
AEW hasn't been doing it either.
we're talking about storytelling, and you're going to throw AEW at me.
Fair. I'm just pointing that out.
What's next,
I'm
Ring of
put-
Honor?
Okay. New Japan. All right, fine. No storytelling. You're right.
WWE is the.
Oh wait, you're right. They're the only company who tells any stories. You're right.
Yeah.
But then again, they get crapped on for not telling stories. You're completely oxymoronic here, Dave. You've actually proven me right.
Historically, you know they're the number one. We both agree with that.
Sure.
Storytelling wrestling, historically, WWE's number one.
Sure.
The gripe people have about it is that sometimes they say their storylines are a little too juvenile. I get that. I don't care, but I get it. NWA, on the other hand, right now, is also very good at storytelling.
What the hell is Nick Aldis' story?
He's got the storyline with Camille going. That's really what it's about. And he had the Tim Storm storyline. That was right. Tim Storm, is he too old? Can he do it?
Okay.
Nick Aldis, is he controlling Camille or not? That is, they both, and this is the goofy thing I like where champion and challenger both have the storyline. It's this goofy thing I have where I would like both of that. Which is why I say the Mega Powers, because Macho had his own story and plot, and so did Hogan, and they converged to explode.
Macho Man had a story. Hulk
Hogan had one too.
Hulk Hogan had lust in his eyes, Dave.
Which is his story. If you believe
I want to get that in
which
every
is
live stream.
The Doc Knocking is scared of us now. NWE isn't doing it with Nick Aldis. They haven't done it since the Tim Storm thing ended. I will agree with that. And they are dragging out the Camille thing a little too long. But they did do it, is what I'm trying to say. NWA is still telling in-ring stories. They are still pulling that.
But that's the thing. That's what I don't
No,
understand.
Inigo Montoya, Tim Storm had his own storyline, but so did Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis has a storyline with Camille. That is still there. Are they dragging out too long? Yes. Are they needing to resolve this? Absolutely. But it's still there, is all I'm trying to say.
Sarah Logan's husband pooped himself.
That's...
The OC just beat the Viking Raiders. I mean, that's a big deal. This is the second. They're the only team that's done it. So they're telling a story here, Dave. The Viking Raiders are destroying every single team that they face.
That is not a story.
And then
again, because I'm a better wrestler than you. Who cares? Like, give me an emotional context. Give me a story arc. What are we supposed to learn from this?
There is no emotional context left in wrestling, Dave.
But
there's
there can
none.
be. There can be.
But there's
This is it. NWA has proven it. Are you supposed to feel like
to a point? Look,
I'm not like a Tim.
I'm not
Tim
saying
Storm guy. I'm not a Tim.
and
Storm
I'm not
guy.
saying you're wrong. Kofi was an emotional storyline.
It was.
I
What
give you
did they
that.
do after that? Emotionally, did you care about his? You didn't even remember, and neither did I. His feud with Dolph Ziggler. Did you care about it one way or another? Were you emotionally invested in that feud? Nope. And neither was I. And it's not that fans can't be. First of all, I think they unfortunately put Dolph in that situation. It shouldn't have been Dolph. It straight up should have been Mustafa Ali. If you want to say he's not ready, I get it, but I would have loved to see what they did. Because if Mustafa Ali says, that was my spot, you took it in the gauntlet match, he's right, because it was his spot. It is supposed to be Mustafa Ali. All Ali had to do, Ali could have came out, heel turn. Maybe you don't want to ruin Ali's momentum because he was doing good as a babyface, but if he turned on Kofi, came out of nowhere, ambushed Kofi, and said, you won that gauntlet match and that started as Kofi Mania, it was my spot, I was supposed to be in that, everything you have belongs to me, no one's arguing that. And it was the same thing why I thought Corbin shouldn't have won the King of the Ring. When Because if the bad guy has a legit reason, it makes a lot of sense. When they turn that into a triple threat, if Corbin's not involved in the pin, Joe and Ricochet pin each other, and Corbin just like, what the hell, what about me? He says, they double pinned each other the week before, they're both eliminated, I get a bite out of the finals. How did I, and I didn't even get pinned, how do I not go to the finals because these two? If he complains about that, Baron Corbin's 100% right, and it gets him over without needing to win the King of the Ring.
I mean,
that's all it takes to do it.
That's
Who's
fair.
got the legit argument? Who's got the emotional investment? And as much as I don't like Corbin, it was teed itself up. It was right there in plain sight. And that's all I'm asking for. You get on your side where you nod, you're like, he's got a point. It's like Black Panther with, the bad, with Killmonger. You're like, well, he's got a point.
Yeah, I mean, look, the old saying is the best heels are the heels that, no matter what, always believe that no matter what they do or say, they're right. They always believe they're right.
No, well, Mark Strike, that ship has sailed. I wanted it at the time. Yeah. I thought it worked. But, to me, it wrote itself. It was right there. And they did it with Dolph Ziggler. I'm like, why should it have been Dolph? What have you been doing lately other than being Glass Joe, everybody's first feud? Like, what are we doing there?
Team game.
Champion's incredibly well. Okada's historic great. Yeah, the reign is great. Same thing with AJ Styles. He had a great long run. What was the plot? What was the storyline? I'm a better wrestler than everybody? Yeah. Okay.
Team gaming, we actually just brought it up. Kevin Owens befriended the New Day to get a shot at.
It's like, I have the episode. It's like, I've already talked about this. It didn't even come out that long ago, but it was the same thing where in the episode I was talking about, well, here we got a problem with these three champions from WrestleMania, Becky, Kofi, Seth. It's problematic. Will this get any better? And I even say, it's like, okay, like out of all of them, Kofi was the one who made out the best because of that Randy Orton thing. But it was kind of like, it wasn't solid all the way through. It was just the best.
Right. No, I actually liked the whole thing that they did with Kofi and Randy.
And I did too. That's my point. That's all I'm asking for.
But this is another thing. There was a big deal after the pay-per-view because again there was another another finish that wasn't a clean finish, and everybody starts to get up in their arms about the fact that every finish nowadays specifically has to be clean if it's on pay-per-view. Did you get this memo from the wrestling world? That's a new thing now. Everything has to be clean if it's on a pay-per-view. And everybody's complaining, but that was the brilliance of SummerSlam. Kofi's emotions boiled over so much he beat the crap out of this guy who told him.
I would have been okay with that if they didn't do the exact same thing with Samoa Joe and AJ Styles the year before. If they didn't do the exact same thing.
In fairness, this was about just.
I know.
This was just about Orton and Kofi. Same thing. Samoa Joe trying to seduce AJ Styles' wife.
I'm just.
Oh, Wendy!
It's twice with the same belt. I mean,
I know. I loved that story, though.
I'm not complaining.
I loved it.
I'm not complaining about the storyline in itself. I'm just saying it was just too redundant.
Based on, I get what you're saying. That's what they were trying to portray. But there was still, the title defenses in themselves didn't have any story to it. That's the thing when everybody talks about,
Right. Yeah, I'm agreeing. The title change has the story.
Right.
I'm talking about what does the champion have after it. And again, that's another example. Yes, it was Tanahashi passing the torch. But that's because the storyline is leading you to the satisfying conclusion. It's like when a storyline goes, here's your problem, your catalyst, and then here's your resolution. That's the thing we're looking for. The problem is Okada needs to win the title. The storyline is built upon Okada. The satisfaction comes when Okada wins that belt. And that's what it's told for. But we never see a storyline for the champion to retain the belt. Like, we need to see you overcome these odds. Hogan, the storyline was built for Andre, Hogan to beat Andre. Can he succeed past this mountain of a man, this monster of a man? Is this too much of a challenge? That's what the key is. That's what the title reign is talking about.
Roberto Soto, people hate Seth Rollins so much because wrestling fans got what they wanted and can't handle it.
And his Twitter, but whatever.
Look, the Twitter thing is one thing or whatever. That's hating.
You can't be surprised when a guy pisses people off on the internet, then the internet fans hate him. Like, of course the internet wrestling community is going to hate him. That's the people he pissed off.
For being right?
I think they're overreacting a bit, but I get it.
My thing is this. If that was the other way around...
No, but societally speaking...
Nobody cares.
Societally speaking...
And that's what gets me mad.
Societally speaking, right now, flaunting wealth is not a good idea. if you use it to put someone down. I think it's different. I've said this before. It's
But
different.
the thing is,
it's different if you Ric Flair it and you're just partying like a rock star.
But the thing is that he didn't specifically say, "Hey, I'm better than him because I make more money." It's because I draw more money, and that's a big deal in the wrestling business.
That is not what he said.
That's exactly what he was saying.
He talked about his bank account. That's not how much
Right.
money I draw. That is how much money I have. That is a different story. Nice try.
That's what he meant.
No, it is not.
Yes, it was.
It's not like
he did say it later on. He was like, "Look, I was talking about being."
And
maybe he was covering for his tracks,
Yeah.
but I believe it.
That is him That is him tripping over his own tampon string as he backpedals. That is what
Listen,
he is doing.
it worked for me. I kind of believe it.
Yeah, of course you do. That is a retroactive social media version of saying I didn't sell out, I bought in.
Okay, AJ Envoy brings up a very good point.
Yeah.
Can you give him examples of storylines that for champions after they win? Just give him.
As I said, Hogan and Andre, Austin and McMahon.
I don't think he's not saying. I think he's saying book something. Like right now, book something for who's for Brock.
No.
For Bray. Fine.
Okay.
All right, hold on. But we got to take the Daniel Bryan situation out of it because there you go. There's once again, that was the champion story.
Braze is easy. Braze is writing itself because the entire feud.
Right. No. All right. So Bray's a bad example.
Damn it.
Bray's too bad of an example.
But I want to. It's so much fun.
No. Bray's
And
a
you
bad
know what
example.
the funny thing is? You know if Dean Ambrose didn't leave to become Jon Moxley in AEW, Dean is getting murdered by the Fiend.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Like this pay-per-view would have just been the Fiend beating the crap out of Dean Ambrose.
Ambrose would have got 4 moves in if he would have been lucky.
It just would have been the Fiend running over him with a steamroller.
Yep.
Like turning him into a cartoon. And Brock, no.
And that's exactly what AJ's trying to bring up. And I think that he's saying that you're saying you want a storyline, but I want you to be specific. Is it a revenge, love, best friends, etc.?
All those are acceptable answers.
What we're getting, what the point is that the problem that we're going to have is now everybody's going to, because whenever this has been happening lately, if the WWE slightly rehashes something, it was, what did you just say? The SummerSlam main events.
1 year? Yeah, 1 year. That's enough. And also, that's a specific finish. That's a specific finish. The plot, I have an episode.
Non-finish.
Yeah, fine. I have a plot coming out. I have an episode coming about. We talked about this on the live stream about the basic plots out there and all writing. I have an episode coming about that, so I will get in. But you guys always do this to me. Somehow you know what episodes are coming out and decide you want me to spoil it for you.
I think you accidentally went up starting to talk about
I
things.
wonder if I do it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a chance I subconsciously am doing it because it's just on my brain. It's not this week's episode, though. Anyway, the point is, I could do that. But if we want to talk about just specific champions, but yeah, that's exactly it. Bray's storyline is a revenge storyline. The Fiend is going after specifically people who have wronged the Fiend back. That's why I say Dean is the obvious one, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I mean. They're there. You know what they are.
They're doing it right with Bray. Like
Matt Hardy, I know he's not really the main event guy in WWE. In WWE is all I'm saying, whether Vince McMahon views him or not. But there is a very logical case for Matt Hardy. Woken, whatever.
I don't know why he came back on Raw. I'm still really.
I don't think they want to, but that storyline is there because Bray eat the Fiend at the Hardy compound to eat him alive and destroy the Hardy compound. That would have killed 2 birds with 1 stone. You wanted to stop this broken crap, and you also want Bray to look strong. Well, there you go. Have him ruin the gimmick. Yeah, Matt will be pissed, but bye. That would have accomplished 2 WWE goals in 1 shot. What about Nikki Bella? What about Nikki Bella?
Am I the only one who can see Sonata as Okada's next rival? The 2 of them in the main eventing Wrestle Kingdom since 20.
I can see anything because I have an imagination, but the question is whether or not it's right.
I'm not huge on Sonata. I like him. I don't love him.
He's not ready yet.
Yeah, he's definitely not.
And if you do it now, you fear turning him into Jay White.
Right.
Is Avi coming today?
He is. Look.
Episode coming out, Dave. I want to see it. I know you've been asking for AJ Envoy. I'm working on it. It's relatively soon. Like I have the script mostly written. What about Alexa Bliss? What about Alexa Bliss? It's so many matches already. It's not about how many matches. It's not about filling up your bump card. It's about how are you progress. Again, what storyline? Like I talk about this all the time. Who said what?
Just the bottom comment. I just love that just somebody always at once.
What about him? Like
somebody just tries to push your buttons. It just makes me laugh.
His storyline is that he can't carry the title without putting WCW as the #1 company. Anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that not really a plot? Oh, oops. My bad. Main event of TLC was underwhelming. Yes, it absolutely was. And unfortunately, this is 2 pay-per-views in a row now for me. Because
I know.
the women triple threat match at Survivor Series, I was very much looking forward to it. I'm glad Shayna won, but man, that was not good. It wasn't horrendous. It wasn't even bad, but it was not main event material. And this main event was, and the same thing. I think I'm dumbfounded how many people glaze over that the women's tag titles were the main event of a pay-per-view.
I know. And a lot of people
really think about that.
And that's the other thing. A lot of people aren't talking about it. When everybody's going to sit there and talk about, the WWE isn't doing as much with the women as they used to. Because Corey Graves kind of brought that up on the podcast last time. And then I think to myself, yeah, you know what? You're right. No, wait, hold on. They main evented Survivor Series. They main evented TLC now. Yes, they are.
But notice that your instinct is that to feel they're right. But you look at the booking and the placement on the card, and it says otherwise. But it still doesn't feel that way. My point is, it's all about the storylines. What gets you emotionally invested in these people?
See, you could
stick them at the end of the card all you want, unless you give people a reason to be emotionally invested in these characters. That's not going to happen. That's the missing element from today's wrestling.
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Asuka and Kairi.
Yeah.
We have two women who have been, I want to say 99.9% of the time have been booked as baby faces.
Kairi, yeah. Asuka's.
Asuka was a little bit of a tweener in NXT, but she was mostly still, portrayed as a baby face.
I'm sorry, they don't exist.
What, tweeners?
Yeah. Some people think that.
That's a lie.
I agree, but whatever.
Yeah. Those people are wrong. So the thing is that now this should be interesting to everybody. Here's 2 women who everybody's been saying, you're misusing, you're not doing the right thing with them. They win the tag titles, and then instead of just them being, oh, we're just going to be babyface champions, let's just face everybody, yay, they turn their back on Paige, they start using the green mist, they start using nefarious tactics, they turn heel, and now they start double teaming, individual people.
Okay. I don't like these handicaps. I hate it when you have the Paul London, Brian Kendrick, Triple H syndrome. You know what I'm talking about. When you have the tag champs, they should not be going against one individual wrestler. And if they do, they should maul the crap out of them. Or else you're just dumping on your own tag division.
I agree with that.
That is hugely problematic.
I agree with that. But
I don't care if she is Charlotte Flair. Or Becky Lynch.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But shouldn't we have been a lot more interested in this? Storytelling-wise, this made so much sense, and it hits every button.
No, it doesn't. Emotional investment. Why did they turn on Paige? Why should I care that they turned on Paige? Nothing. They just did it. That's my issue with everything in wrestling. So much of what we see in wrestling now, people just do for the sake of doing. There's never an emotional investment in me.
I think that if they would have turned on Paige and picked up somebody else as a mouthpiece, it would have worked a lot better.
But they didn't.
And that's where I still don't understand how, if they're going to cross-brand Sami Zayn. First of all, I don't understand why Sami Zayn's not wrestling. I think he's hurt and we just don't know it.
Wouldn't be surprised.
But the other portion of that is, if you're going to cross-brand Sami Zayn and have him come out with Mojo freaking Rawley, why was he not the mouthpiece for Asuka and Kairi? That was the perfect story in itself. He's got Nakamura and Cesaro on one show. He's got the women's tag team champions on the other. And it doesn't even hurt the idea of him being exclusive to one brand, because the women's tag team champions can travel to every brand.
That does make a lot of sense.
That story wrote itself. I don't understand why they didn't go with that.
Well, my number one issue is Kairi and Asuka shouldn't be a tag team. Like, they never should partner on them.
I'm totally okay with it.
I'm not. It's stylistically, they don't make sense together as a tag team.
They were a tag team in Japan.
In Japan, yeah, that makes sense. Here, it doesn't. The way they booked the 2 of these doesn't make sense at all. All right, Kairi Sane has been played as the ultra-vulnerable babyface, and Asuka has been played like female Goldberg.
Fair, but
it would be like if you made a tag team out of Johnny Gargano and Goldberg. That makes no freaking sense. Like, I get it. No, I'm sorry.
But it's the idea of the imposing member. It's like the Hart Foundation.
And that is not the storyline they're telling.
But that's
with the 2 of them. They're treating them as equals, and that is nonsense. That is my point. They have ruined too much of what they have with them.
Adrian Envoy, I completely agree. I think that's something that WCW tried to do and failed at. I think Sharon Sadella was very important in that kind of thing. Those horrible movies that they made with, Sting and Davey Boy Smith meeting Vader and Colonel Robert Parker and Sid Vicious on a beach. Horrible. Absolutely a horrible idea. But if done right, would work. Bray Wyatt is going to be that character, I think, that transcends wrestling. I think that you could see Bray Wyatt as a villain in a horror movie if you really wanted to.
In case you haven't been following this channel, I'm talking about, throughout the years, I bring up literary works, film. I bring up all these writing techniques. There's a lot of literary technique being talked about on this very channel. In case you haven't noticed, it's something I've been lobbying with forever about professional wrestling. I don't think pro wrestling is separate from this literary world. Writing is writing.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. Writing is writing to me. You can employ. Now, look, I'm not asking you to write a 3,000-page epic about it, all right, where all of it's just walking and some talking trees and garbage and that where some idiot gets to throw a ring in a well or whatever he did. Whoops, sorry. I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking that the simple literary techniques, foundation of story arc, emotional investment, emotional change and growth, all these very, very simple ideas just get utilized in wrestling. Because if we look at all of the best storylines in wrestling, it's when it was done right.
Yes, Besa. Yes. I don't care what anybody says. That was the appeal of Lucha Underground. Yeah, Lucha Underground was 100% a company where they base everything around it being cinematic, it being different.
Right.
I love that concept.
Conceptually, that's what I'm looking at. If it was a little too ham-fisted for you, and it's just not your cup of tea.
Thank you, Mark Shrek.
I get it. But yes, that's the mentality I'm talking about. As I said, the best storylines in all of wrestling history. Mega Powers exploding, NWO and Sting, Austin McMahon, all of these things had very, very simple story arcs that you could follow and trace. And that's really all there is to it. And it's a formula WWE has done better than any other company historically. Does that mean that I set the bar higher for them now because they are who they are? Absolutely it does. Is that fair? I don't care if it is.
I think that, it's not going to happen.
Because my bar for AEW storyline is right down there at the bottom. Like, they could do anything, and I'm like, oh, good for you.
Yeah,
at this point.
Because they're not telling anything at all.
But I don't go to AEW for that. It's like what I was talking about earlier. I go to New Japan for specific things. I don't want to see a bad guy heel faction beat up and cheat all the time using weapons and foreign objects. That's not what I watch New Japan for. I love that crap at WCW when NWO did it. That's not why. But that's not why.
But that was yeah.
I don't go to AEW because I want stories. I want indie extreme. I want indie wrestling turned up to 11. That's why I'm watching AEW.
And, AJ, I completely agree. Create a universe with characters who are wrestlers and some characters who are not. That's exactly what wrestling should be. That's what wrestling used to be.
Right. And there you go.
And that's the thing. Look, there's one thing that's not going to happen. And we had this conversation before on and off air. The WWE is never going backwards. But where we're at right now is where we're at. But that's the problem is that what they need to start doing is stripping away some of that stuff and going back to what they were doing. Look, I don't need choppy your pee-pee. But I do need Val Venus level characters in the WWE. Guys who are lower mid-card guys to have relevance on the card. Apollo Crews needs a storyline. I don't want to see Apollo Crews on Raw having a wrestling match, or on SmackDown, wherever he is, having a wrestling match with Cedric Alexander because, hey, these are two guys who can really go. No. Give me something else.
I brought
Where's Cedric Alexander?
In Vince McMahon's doghouse for not being his type of
Where did he go?
Under the Vince McMahon shovel. The whole point is, I said this in that episode I did about my favorite episode of Monday Night Raw.
That's it, Besa. Bring back Vince Russo. I was hoping somebody was going to say it.
Of course he's going to say it. If you look at the way the Attitude Era was, are there flaws on it in hindsight? Yes, but there are things about it I like. Stories and feuds were interactive with each other. Nobody lived in a vacuum. Feuds didn't exist in a vacuum. Someone would interfere during the Big Boss Man match, and then the Boss Man would interfere in their match.
Right.
And then that would cause this. There was a cause and effect. Everybody was the breakdown of that episode. Just watch that episode where Jeff Jarrett, Owen Hart, Ken Shamrock, like everybody was interconnected. You saw people multiple times a night interfering, and it all made sense. Val Venus got involved, like it all made sense. And Bobby the Brain Heenan also did a great job of making sure you were always remembering that this match was not as I said in the last episode, mentioning other people. He's like, all right, tonight we got the Junkyard Dog, but you know what? That's an insult because Hulk Hogan is ducking my challenger. Like, that's the kind of thing he said. No matter what, he would talk about who had the IC belt, who had the world belt, who had the tag belts, and why Paul Orndorff, whoever, was supposed to have that title.
Real quick, because I do have to go. I think that another big portion of what we're missing right now is factions. I think that is one of the things that, look, here's the thing. You want to know who's doing that, what you're talking about?
We have a lot of factions, though. They suck, but
yes and no.
OC.
3-man groups to me aren't a faction.
Okay.
That's not a faction.
So Freebirds are not a faction? Shield's not a faction?
Maybe you can sway me in the argument. But I think, so the way they're booked in WWE isn't the way that they should be. The closest that we have is Undisputed Era. Because now you're seeing...
yeah, they definitely count.
No, yeah, of course. But you see them in NXT, and it's, okay, Adam Cole's going against this guy. All 3 of those guys are going up, trying to beat up Finn Balor. All 3 of those guys are going to beat up Dijakovic. All 3 of those guys are going to beat up Keith Lee. And it's integrating everybody into that whole thing. It's now Undisputed Era is here, and now that's why we had the War Games match. Because now Tommaso Ciampa, who wants to be number 1 contender, Finn Balor wants to be number 1 contender. These guys, and now all those stories mesh.
Right. But I don't think you. I don't think.
Okay, guys, you've proven me wrong. Yes, 3 men are definitely factions. Ben Espinosa,
triple threat, great example.
Yes, Ben Espinosa just threw that at me.
That was enough. Right. That was the word.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I can't argue anymore.
Team Gaming, yeah, I think the League of Nations could have been something.
It should have been something.
I thought they should have been the Evil Heart Foundation, where it's like American wrestlers get everything and us foreign wrestlers don't.
Yes.
Except
that Sheamus won the world title. That was there.
Yeah, they screwed that up.
Yeah. All right, I gotta go.
Yeah. All right. Tell everyone.
Guys, you can see me next if you want to talk football.
Thank you, Richard Lee.
If you want to talk football, we can do that. It's mixlr.com/MESN-radio. I think I got that right. I'm still not sure. Just facebook.com/the Slam Sessions. Oh my God, the Slam Sessions Podcast Network. Go there. The live stream will be up there. You can call in. You'll get the number during the show. And starting in January, new content will be on the Slam Sessions on YouTube, so look out for it. And yeah, that's that. Thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you for being on, buddy.
Always.
All right, I'll hang out for just a couple of minutes longer, but then
entertain the masses.
Yeah. All right.
And then,
but get your gear for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sticking.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Yeah,
You're not closing tonight.
No.
Yep, I don't blame you that.
Well, I also got to go to the place tomorrow.
Gotcha.
All right. So. Thank you. All right.
I'm going to go this way.
All right. Take it easy. Okay. So, Mark Strike, I would rather base up an Arthur book because I believe they are trolling and they can't be that stupid.
That's a lie.
And I don't think.
Insulting your
I don't think they would book that badly just to spite me. I like to believe they have more sense than that. But Richard Lee, thank you for noticing the logo. I almost overhauled a lot, but I chose not to. Kaiser says, if someone loses in the ring, I like to see hooligan attacking each other. Okay. If you could do a Legion of Doom make up of different wrestling heels throughout history, who would it be? I don't know what you mean, Richard Lee. Mark Strike, Dave chose the first one. I've got a great idea for you. There's no such thing as a great idea from both of you. The both of you are like chlorine and bleach, okay? Ammonia and bleach, sorry. Dave, I also think we don't get crazy storylines because perhaps WWE want to offend anyone. I'm not asking for crazy storylines. I'm asking for simple plots, emotional investment. I have an episode about character arcs. I have an episode about what I'm talking about for championship feuds. I have all these episodes already out there. Just, I don't need to rehash everything. It's already there. All right, Arthur. I like it when the bad guys feud with each other. The heels feud. Okay, AJ Envoy. Dave, I really enjoy your streams and vids, man. I do like the fact that you talk about the storyline aspect, which is sorely lacking in wrestling, mainly WWE's crazy. Yeah, AJ Envoy, look, me and you may not feel the same way about things to the same levels, but we do have a very similar mindset. Like, how big a guy is does matter about looking at them in the main event, how we treat them, and we do agree. I do understand your point about how how much mass a guy has, but I don't think it's as important as storylines to me. Like, I put way more of the onus on storylines and as a booking problem than I do on size, because I do think you can tell. Like, Kofi is not the biggest guy in the world, but he was supposed to win that WrestleMania main event. I thought he should have lost the title quickly thereafter, but whatever. I thought he should have had a quick Randy Orton feud, and then, 3 pay-per-views. One Mustafa Ali title defense, then the Randy Orton feud, and then the next time, then the next match is and then the next pay-per-view he loses it. And if you told me you wanted him to lose after a month, that was perfectly fine. By me too. Richard Lee says, oh, the Legion of Doom. Oh, you mean, oh, I thought you meant the wrestlers, the Legion of the Doom. Okay, so you want me to do 7 or 13 of the Legion of Doom bad guys, all-time professional wrestling. I like this. So any of you who don't remember the show Super Friends, it was, the Legion of Doom was where all the bad guys were. 13. I like it where, I personally like it 7 because it mirrors the Justice League 7, but it's kind of supposed to be 13, but I don't think I have that time. So, number 1 bad guy of all time, that's a tough call. Because you also, but they were also, so here's like the thing. Like, this was a DC Comics thing, not a Marvel thing. And by the way, check out my channel. Please subscribe to Dave Knows Comics. And also come on to the next live stream that we do for Dave Knows Comics. So, the thing about it was, you can't just pair up all the bad guys. Well, it's a DC thing. I'm just giving an example. If we decide to make it Marvel, we can't stick Magneto on the team, even though he's one of the big bad guys, because why would the pro-mutant rights guy be on the tag team with a bunch of non-mutant dudes? Like, that doesn't make sense. Or like Apocalypse. You know, why would he bother? You would have to pick the right guys. So I like this question a lot. Good question, Richard Lee. So, let's think. Bad guy Legion of Doom. Who would work with other people? Kind of feel like you got to put Flair in the one hole, right? You got to put Flair as the Lex Luthor of this team. You got to put him in the number 1 spot. And again, this becomes really tempting to make it the Horseman. I'm not going to stick the whole Horseman on there, but I will give him Arn. He needs the Enforcer, without a doubt. Need the Enforcer. Actually, you know what? Crap. All right. Vince McMahon is the Lex of the team, then Flair, then Arn. So that's going to be 3. All right, so I got to round this out. All-time heels. I don't like him, but I kind of feel like you got to put Triple H on there. I really don't care for him, but I feel like Triple H has got to make this list as well. And it's like I can't put Brock because he doesn't play well with others. I also don't think he's that good of a heel. Trolling and the short attention span. And do you work for WWE? Yes, Richard Lee. That's a very good question to ask Arthur Pryor. And by the way, guys, feel free to chime in if you have any suggestions. But yeah, so it's going to be Vince, Flair, Arn, and Triple H. Piper is a great heel, but he's always been, but he's like a loner heel. Like, would he partner up with Flair, especially with their reputations together? You know what I mean? Would Piper be on a team with Ric Flair? It's like the Magneto argument. Like, I get it. He's one of the best bad guys there ever was. He's working together thing. No, but we're just doing the Heenan. Heenan is a phenomenal answer, but I'm worried about turning this into, like, I don't want it to be all managers, but I'll put Heenan in. Hey, Rod Reflex! My man. They don't like it. But that's not how this works, Space Up. We're not looking for cowardly heels. It's the Legion of Doom, all right? The Legion of Doom doesn't have, like, their, chicken bad guys on it. It's the crust. It's not those guys. Win the Universal Championship. Unwelcome wrestler. Gonna wreck. Oh, nothing happened to Brock. Part of me wants to say The Rock. Jake Roberts. He's not really the biggest team player, but I will let that go and put Jake Roberts in that team because that is just a good answer. Ric Flair was probably the best heel ever. I say he is, wrestler-wise. The Toddler? And the Riddler is not, if you're saying the Riddler is not a chicken, okay? He's an intellectual. Ooh, Raven, good answer. Raven, yes, absolutely, Raven. The Riddler was, but the Riddler is not. The Riddler is not the Shawn Michaels of the lead. No. Dude, Marty Scurll. Yeah, base up. I just realized that's not what you were talking about. But yeah, we talked about that earlier. But you know what, Marty Scurll, he's a little new, but I'm tempted about that. Raven is Rorschach. We're talking about something else, dude. Orton, no, again. See, the problem is there are a lot of bad guys. You know what? He's not. If you want to talk about a chicken bad guy who's not as much of a punk about his stuff and actually works on this team, I will say The Miz. You know what? Wait, hold on. Everyone calm it down. Okay, Vince McMahon, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Triple H, Chris Jericho for the 5. That is my team so far. Bobby the Brain Heenan goes in 6th. This is disrespectful if someone wins a champion in 5 or 6 days or months because Vince McMahon won Powerhouse. Okay. Dave, Monday Night Raw is getting even worse because, yeah? Oh, yeah, wedding. Raven, Jake Roberts. Suzuki? I was told that is not how you say Suzuki, but I say it the way it's spelled. Minoru Suzuki. Interesting comment. Interesting. Don't forget about the biggest heel of all time, Vince McMahon. That's who I led with, buddy. I don't know if Minoru gets on that list. Ted DiBiase? Yes, absolutely. Ted DiBiase, Ron Hawthorne, absolutely. Ted DiBiase. I know, but that's not what we're looking at here. The Fiend would never work with any of these guys. JBL, but I don't want to. JBL is a good answer, though. Official heel team, Heenan's the mentor, Flair's the leader. Vader, 10. Larry Zbyszko, I feel you. I feel you on Larry Zbyszko. I'm not sure if I put him in. Nah, you see, I'm also trying not to put an entire faction in, but the Freebirds, but also, would they work with everybody else? The Freebirds hate Flair, and I understand that, the way things are, but the whole Freebird angle, the reason they turn heel is because they hate Ric Flair. Who get his babyface? I can't put Eddie in. Stan Hansen, you're the second person to bring up Stan Hansen to me today, which I think is interesting. Shona here, no. 5 best Ric Flair opponents. Dusty, Sting, Steamboat. I don't know. Fill in the blank after that because those 3 are the biggest ones. Oh, Harley Race, for sure. Hogan, 5. Freddie Blassie, correctamente. All right, 2 more. No Big Show. Andre, I'm putting in there. Gorgeous George is a really good answer, Rich DeLeo. Hey, Rich DeLeo, what's up, my man? And Gorgeous George is actually a really good answer. But the only problem is if I put him in, I feel like I got to take Flair out. Yeah, Teddy Hart was. Yeah, there was. Raw Reflex. Yeah, there's some things going on with my man Teddy Hart. Friend of the channel. I hope nothing bad is happening. I don't understand. I don't know the details of it. All I know is I don't know what happened, so I'm not going to make any judgments on it. And I do know he, he helped out on this channel. So, but whatever it is. Corbin, no Baron Corbin whatsoever. Alexa Bliss, a female in it. That's not a bad answer. No, I'm not putting Kenta in there either. Virtual, I'm not putting Virtual in. Alexa is tempting, and in many ways, but I meant for this list. Okay, but Andre, one more. Andre's definitely going in. I'm partially thinking about Mr. Perfect. I thought about Kevin Owens, but again, too much of a loner. I said Chris Jericho already. I just can't imagine Kevin Owens really being part of a team. Because Kevin Owens, for Canada, I wouldn't have minded him if he was like the 5th member of League of Nations way back when. Trish, I don't think is a better heel. I think she's hotter. Rick Rude! Sold. Rick Rude it is. All right, guys, this has been a fun live stream. But hey, go check out Andy Kaufman's not a bad answer. But go check out Albert's show that's on Mixler/MESN Radio. Check that out. But thank you for being here, and thank you for the super chat, Inigo Montoya. Very generous of you, and really does help me out a lot. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up and the likes. Again, those help out the channel too. And I hope you've enjoyed everything. And yes, again, I'm going to keep plugging it. Check out the documentary, Dave Knows Wrestlers. First episode, Colossal Mike Law. Check it out. I've been getting a lot of feedback on it. I worked really hard on it, and a lot of people. It's a short documentary. A lot of people enjoy it. A lot of people think, have been watching. I've been getting positive feedback about it. It's very interesting, and you might say, I don't know who Mike Law is. Doesn't matter. That's the whole point. Watch it to get to know him. Hear his story. I think wrestlers have fantastic stories that you need to hear. What does it take to get into the business? I think you need to know. So check that documentary out. And as always, Dave knows.